US President Donald Trump has ruled out the transfer of long-range Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine, signaling a cautious American stance as the war with Russia enters its fourth year. The decision, delivered bluntly aboard Air Force One, underscores Trump's reluctance to further arm Kyiv, despite pressure from allies and military advisors.
Will your administration provide Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk missiles? Is that something that you're not considering that?
No, not really.
Mr. President, on Friday, finals?
Could happen, I could change, but at this moment I'm not.
Trump's remarks come after weeks of speculation in Washington that a Tomahawk missile transfer was imminent. The Pentagon had already cleared the move, determining it would not affect US combat readiness. But Trump's "not really" now halts that momentum, reflecting a clear break from policy advisors pushing for deeper involvement in Ukraine's defense. Pressed further on his reasoning, Trump said there was no final straw, suggesting that wars sometimes need to fight out, rather than be prolonged through weapon shipments. He called the conflict tough for both sides, claiming that Russian forces may have lost maybe 1 million soldiers.
There's no final straw. Sometimes you have to let it fight out. And they're fighting it out. And it's been a tough war for Putin. He's lost a lot of soldiers, maybe 1 million. That's a lot of soldiers. And it's been tough for Ukraine. It's been tough with both. Sometimes you have to let it, just get poured out. I've settled 8 wars. I thought that one would be easier than some of the ones we settled.
Trump's comments come on the heels of his meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House, where Zelensky made a bold pitch, offering Ukraine's domestic drone technology in exchange for Tomahawk missiles. Zelensky argued the swap could strengthen US production and give Ukraine a decisive edge in a technological war.
You don't use just Tomahawks. If you want to target a military goal, you need thousands of drones. It goes together with such missiles. Ukraine has such thousands of our production drones, but we don't have Tomahawks. That's why we need Tomahawks. But United States is a very strong production, and the United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
But Trump snubbed the offer, stressing that the US already produces enough drones and needs to preserve its own weapons stockpile. He said he would rather see the war over than expand it with fresh missile supplies. The Kremlin swiftly reacted to Trump's latest remarks. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned that any Tomahawk transfer would mark a qualitatively new stage of escalation. Moscow said such actions could irreparably damage relations with Washington and trigger unpredictable consequences. For Ukraine, Trump's rejection is a serious setback, curbing hopes of gaining long-range strike power. For Trump, it reinforces his image as a president determined to avoid a wider war while keeping America's arsenal intact. And while he left the door slightly open, saying things can change, his answer for now remains as firm as ever. No, not really.